Last Wednesday, Representative Chip Roy of Texas, Republican Representative Chip Roy of Texas, spoke on the floor of the House of Representatives to express his frustration with the current state of his party and the new elected Speaker, Mike Johnson. Listen to this.
One thing. I want my Republican colleagues to give me one thing, one, that I can go campaign on and say we did. One. Anybody sitting in the complex, if you want to come down to the floor and come explain to me one material, meaningful, significant thing the Republican majority has done besides, well, I guess it's not as bad as the Democrats.
See, I love that. I love that. And by the way, I'm not a proponent or an advocate of the government being shut down and people's lives being profoundly affected. Of course, I don't want a government shut down. Of course, I don't want federal employees to be denied pay and stuff like that because the government can't get their act together. But why do I feel it's important to deviate from the world of sports to touch on something like this? Because, ladies and gentlemen, regardless of whether or not I disagree with his position, because he's fighting for funding and policy battles, and he was willing to shut down the government, and I don't agree with that, I still want to take a moment to applaud the Republican himself from Texas, Mr. Chip Roy. I want to do that. You know why? Because he called out his own. That's why. See, we live in a society today where everybody thinks that, you know what, if you're on the right, so we got to march lockstep with the right. If we're on the left, we got to march lockstep with the left. We got people who are family members, who have been friends with one another all their lives, who are colleagues for decades. The list goes on and on. Teammates in the world of sports and beyond. No one disagrees. No one agrees, rather, on everything. No one. But the way our government runs in this day and age, that's how they act. And it was refreshing to see an elected official call out his own. Because that's somebody you can trust. Whether you agree with his policies or not, that's a different subject. The fact is, he was willing to call out his own. He's not willing to sit up there and just march lockstep with a whole bunch of people on the right just because they're on the right where he's at. He's like, no, if you're wrong, you're wrong. If I believe you're right, I'll say so. If I believe you're wrong, I'll say so. That is what we send elected officials to Capitol Hill to do. And that's exactly what they're not doing. Do you realize in this day and age, the hardest part about being a politician is the campaign? Once you get elected, you don't even have to read the bills. All you have to do is see what side your side of the aisle is voting on, and you can go ahead and vote. Why you think people are able to stay in office until they're 90 years old? Like the late, great Dianne Feinstein, God rest her soul. Why do you think we see elected officials making careers out of being politicians? Because they don't have to work. They don't have to work. All they have to do is say, what are you voting? What are you voting? What are you voting? On this side, I'm rolling with you. If you're on the left, what are you voting? What are you voting? All right, I'm rolling with you. They don't even have to read bills. You want to know why strife exists in this country? Why there's such a divide? Why people are so volatile, so rambunctious, why chaos seems to be fomenting with each passing day? It's because we're a nation who is devoid of leadership. That's why. I never want to be a politician. I never wanted to go out there and curry votes and shake hands and kiss babies and all of that other stuff. And I got to depend on 435 folks in Congress and another 100 people in the Senate in order for me to get bills passed and stuff like that. That's why I never decided to do it. But my God, if I thought that I could have an impact and I could win, I barely know a speck of what these people on Capitol Hill know. And I know I do a better job because at least I care about America, not just myself. Representative Chip Roy should be applauded because he's willing to call out his own about their negligence and their hypocrisy. I applaud that man, and so should you.